what mode to use and why with your forward-facing sonar. We're about to get into the whens, the whys, the whats, and then my personal opinion on what mode that you need to get better at. And that depends where you live on the country. It depends on your lakes, guys. Welcome to the Fishing Coach YouTube channel. Jimmy Eastring, I go by Coach E. I've done a lot of forward-facing. I have a lot of experience with the forward-facing, a lot of hours in the recent 3 to 4 years. Guys, I do a lot of my on-the-water lessons where I do the guide trips, but I do my lessons that I teach people from beginning to the advanced angler how to get better with forward-facing sonar. We go through a variety of techniques. So for my lakes that I live at right now, so we're about to get into perspective versus forward, guys. And right now it's the springtime of the year, or the spring's done. So you're hearing a lot about perspective mode. You're seeing it in the tournaments if you keep up with it. But if you've not even kept up with it, it's interesting how it's always been asked, hey, what about perspective mode? What about perspective mode? Then you see guys with two transducers, and I know it's called scout mode in the other one, and I don't know what Mega Live calls it. I'm sorry if you have a Mega Live, but I don't know what they call it, but there's, yeah, anyway. So guys, the forward or the scout perspective mode. Okay, now me, when I first had the Livescope, I felt like I got better with the perspective mode, which I had Garmin, than the forward due to the lake I was fishing. And that's what I'm gonna get to first. I was fishing, it was called Mill Lake in Arkansas, Millwood Lake. It's flat, lowland reservoir. It's the closest thing that we have to Florida, okay? But it's not Florida. It's just the closest thing. A lot of 2-3 foot of water, flat, flat, flat. And I got really good with the perspective mode. I felt like never fished for fish on beds with it. It was more of cover and more of being precise, being with it. Then I started going to my other lakes, and I fished other lakes too, where I got really good at the forward. And then, guys, as you've known in the last, if you've followed with the channel, I live in Hot Springs now for the last 1.5 years, and I got really good with the forward before then. But coming up here, I do a lot of forward teaching. I have people get my boat and they're like, what about perspective? So let's go to it more. Your lakes, like I just mentioned, where I'm at, Hot Springs, Highland reservoirs, like then it's Ouachita to Gray Hamilton. Very deep, rocky. Hamilton's a little bit more flatter. But I feel like if you are fishing a lake like that, forward mode is your way to go. They get on beds, a couple weeks of the year, and even on those rocky lakes, it's hard to see them with that perspective mode. I rather see them with forward mode. And there's other fish that are not on beds. So that's why I think if you are a Highland reservoir guy, one transducer, which that's all you need is one. If you go get two, that's great, but all you need if you're watching this is one. I mean, okay, guys. But if you have two, that's fine. That is perfectly fine. I wish I could have two, but I'm not going to go spend the money. But with these deep, rocky lakes, it's hard to see in that perspective mode than fish on beds. And I know someone else might share that opinion. It's Kyle Welcher, who just won the recent Bassmaster Elite Series event, had the biggest margin of victory ever. I forgot how to say it, so that crazy river name. I was saying it earlier, but now I can't think of it. That crazy name. Kyle was in forward mode, catching fish super shallow. Kyle's theory is, I can see my bait in forward mode. He says he cannot see it in perspective mode, which I want to show y'all some footage. I actually could see my bait earlier in perspective mode. I've gotten to where I can see it before, but Kyle is 100% right. You see your bait the whole time in forward mode if you want to. Perspective mode is like, oh, there it is, oh, hey, there it is. So he wanted to be in forward mode during this spring event because fish were on stumps, they were spawning, they were moving in, and he could see his bait, and then he could see the fish against the stumps. He knew he was putting his bait there, okay? That's Kyle Welcher's opinion. Kyle right now is actually leading an event without forward-facing sonar. That dude's just a boss. I'm just going to say that right now. He's a really good fisherman. So his opinion, I think, matters, as he was the Angler of the Year. Have you been thinking it's time to give your house a new roof update, guys? If you live in the central Arkansas to Hot Springs region, let me tell you about Saco Roofing Company. If you want the experience to be easy and the process and everything to go smooth, the family behind Saco is going to give you the best experience possible. For someone like me, I don't know much about roofs, but if I do want to go to somebody that is such a very important vital, which is your roof of your house, I want to go with Saco. So guys, appreciate Saco for being a part of the Fishing Coach YouTube channel and presenting this video today. Information for them to be down in the description. 2 years ago in the Elite Series, NPF failed it. He was Angler of the Year also. The dude's anyway. So that's his theory. That was kind of always my theory on forward mode is, and we're going to go more on perspective mode because once again, I'm talking about deep Highland lakes that are not flat. Now your lakes in Texas are flat, but we're going to get into why perspective here in a minute, because I have some juice that I will share to help me out on my lakes that I fish and y'all. But that forward mode, I feel like if you get as good as you can with it, you fish with that 365 days of the year. If you're on those deep lakes, or even lakes like Texas, I know they're a little more flatter, but they're still deep water. So I feel like the more time you put in forward, the better you're going to get. It's all about mathematics in my mind. Mathematically, that's the one for me that is the better mode of the two. Now, perspective mode is cool. Let's go to perspective mode. Perspective mode, your flatter places, like I'm out here, I'm at some flatter places in Arkansas. I haven't been here, first time I've been here all year, okay? Last time I've been here was July of last year. This is a lake where perspective mode can help you. You can see the fish on beds. You can see the fish on stumps. Now, you might not always see your bait, but you know they're there in that 30 to 40, 50 foot zone, okay? Unless you have the saltwater transducer, you can see further out. But once again, I'm not telling you to buy that either. It's pretty cool. Scott Martin made that apparent in Florida last year, 2 years ago, whenever he won. And that saltwater transducer is pretty special for perspective mode. So, let's say you fish them Florida lakes, okay? Or them shallower, muddy river lakes. Perspective mode might be your way to go for most of the year. For example, when I was at Millwood, I was fishing a lot of 3 foot and less. And that forward mode, like back then when I was just getting, it was a 32 transducer. Back then I didn't like it. But with that perspective mode, I could get on them flats areas. I could see the ditch, which would just be a black line or a black, like a little void. I could see stumps, laydowns. Also, guys, you can be in 10 foot of water and look up to the flat, and I will see the shell beds that were coming off of the river channel in the river and on the main lake. So that is where perspective mode is very, very key. So if you're fishing a lake that's more shallow or flat, perspective mode might be your way to go. And it just helps you be more efficient. Put your bladed jig against that stump. Or you see that laydown, you're flipping your Texas rig. Or if you're throwing a big old swim bait, throwing your glide bait, whatever it is. So then if you're fishing, I think, a more shallower, flatter place, perspective mode is probably for you. You can still use forward mode as they've gotten better. You can still see far away. But like as Kyle Welcher just said in the podcast he mentioned on Mercer's, he fishes more forward throughout the year, so he's more comfortable with it. He can see his bait. But you saw some other guys are just really dang good at perspective mode. And I feel like for me, like my strengths, you gotta look on your strengths too. I'm not a bed fisherman. Okay, that's not my strength. I'm not. But if you are a bed fisherman and you have that perspective mode rolling on a flat place, you see the beds, that's that much further along, because you know how to fish for the fish on beds, you know how to work it, all the little, cool things about bed fishing, and so there's fourth. And like I said, you can see fish off beds where your eyes can't see them. Well, there you go. I feel like for me in forward mode, if I see that fish, I got to do what I can in forward mode to get it to bite. Okay, I've caught some fish off beds on forward mode, but I'm just telling you that's just me and where I'm at. Or I'm just going to go off the bank and find them, in that other area and try to go after them with other techniques. I'm about to go throw this flutter spoon here in a minute out here and see if we can find some. So guys, perspective versus forward mode. On your lake, what type of lake you're fishing, your style of fishing. Have the mode fit what's best for you, okay? So that's just what I want to share with you guys today. Let me know what you think about the video. Let's go check out this sweet perspective mode catch that I got. Then we're going to get into the Faith Juice segment. Oh, that was so cool. Stay on, big girl. Stay on, big girl. Stay on, big girl. I just swam the Ozark Creek. I saw that fish eat it on perspective mode. Why not? Oh, there's some up on the grass too.
That's freaking 6-inch depth Sakamata shad written all over it. Look what that is. Oh, dude, did that sucker right there might eat.
I got that dude off the bottom.
Did you really?
Yeah, he came up there.
That's big?
That's a good fish. Oh yeah, look at this guy. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Yeah, look at this guy. Yeah, look at this guy. Welcome to Lake Ouachita, boys and girls. Look at this guy. We're putting a bag together, son. Boat flip you. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. That dude came off the bottom. We got him on the scope and all. Hitting the record. Be real cool if you came up there and ate this dude. Be real cool if you ate this guy, but you're not. You're just not going to. But then maybe your buddy will. Maybe your buddy will. Maybe. Yeah, you good? Another big old spot. Another big old spot. We will. I should be weighing this. We're like what am I doing? Like, dude, this is a dang tank. Oh, Dixie Jet Talon. So then, here we go. I'm going to bring that dude up, and there they go. They're chasing her. Bring it up. Here they come off the bottom, as you see. Right there, I caught one, and there they go. Nope, no, here, I caught it here. I caught it here. I'm sorry. Boom. So let's go back. Now she's fighting. So then I hopped it again. Here we go. One of them got it, and we're just going to follow it. So there it goes. It's now fighting. That's a big fish right there. Welcome, everybody, to the Faith Juice part of the episode. And thank you guys for watching the videos, leaving me the feedback on the Faith Juice segments. It's muchly appreciated. And this one, it's Easter today. And so I'm going to kind of keep it the Easter theme. But just want to say it's been storming. It's crazy. I don't know where you guys are at watching this. I had some people text me, asking me, making sure everything was all right, because they knew where I live, and these storms just been crazy. And yeah, that tornado warning was going right through where we were. We were not here. We're back here now. We got here safely, and whatever. And you know, luckily there's been no damage or anything that ever been reported. But it was some scary storms for the time being. And I'm hearing thunder right now. But okay, guys. So with it being Easter, and you know, and I didn't hear this today, but I've heard this before on an Easter message. But something I always kind of think about with the Easter, and it kind of, I say, gives like the goosebumps feeling to me, or, you know, just I'm just going to share. Okay, but it's, you know, let's talk about the Matthew account. Matthew 28, the last book, the last chapter of it, whatever we're going to call it, chapter. Okay, I just messed that up, didn't I? But talks about Jesus rising from the dead. Okay, so goes there, but then the last section of it is the disciples going up to the mountain, and Jesus telling them to go make disciples of all nations. Go. And it was it. Like, that's it. Like we didn't get anything else. Now there are other books. We get to hear Saul, you know, that turned into Paul, who wrote a lot of the New Testament. But that was just, I'm saying, like Matthew, which one of the disciples got to write his book on Jesus, seeing Jesus in his ministry, and then hearing Jesus share the parables, going through everything, getting us prepared. But then this guy dies and then rose like he said he was going to do, and then here we are, and he just says, go, make disciples. And so with that, like I said, that was it. That's the end of Matthew. Now, the end of John talks about, it's pretty cool, the end of John actually shares if there was every account of Jesus written that he did, there wouldn't be enough room in the world, and that still hits me too. But let's go back to then Matthew. Just go. Like, that's it. The last part, the Great Commission. Go. So where are you going? How are you living out the Great Commission? And it's different for everybody. Okay, it is different for your walk of life. Okay, And as I've gotten older, I've seen how different people have different walks of life. So if you're watching this and you're trying to find out what's my commission, let's say you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, wherever you're at, you still can make an impact, and you're still called to create and make, or not create, excuse me, to make disciples. So as you're getting older and you're trying to find your way, you know, one of the biggest things is prayer. And I know there's some people that just pray. They pray and they're prayer warriors. Then there's people that's actually out in the field. I always thought me as an educator, teacher, coach, I was out. I was one of those people out in the fields. Now, then, you know, as you guys have followed along, if you followed along, I got out of education. I got to where I'm making content, wasn't around kids much or people. Then I started guiding. My guide business has gone crazy. I have got to meet so many wonderful people and different kids. Everybody hears stories, share my testimony to people, hear their testimonies. So that was kind of my way of creating disciples. And then the faith juice, you know, the faith juice happened, and this has been very encouraging. I've had so many people reach out to me and just say thank you, and that's huge. So I've tried to use this platform for a positive way there. And then with FCA, I'm about to have an opportunity with FCA Outdoors, with my ministry there. So the Lord has led me to something that I never thought I'd be doing. I always thought I'd be teaching, coaching. So no matter where you're at in your life, keep praying, studying the Word, and there's going to be something open for you. Okay, so go make disciples. Go. That's it right there. Guys, appreciate you. Thank you for coming to the video today. Let me know what you think. And guys, we'll see you on the next one.